Hey guys, it's Chen. Let me ask you, have you ever gotten that odd and unsettling feeling or sense that you've been in an exact situation before? Or you've already experienced something that you know for certain you are doing for the first time? Have you ever felt that overwhelming sense of familiarity with something that you shouldn't be familiar with at all? This phenomenon is called deja vu, which in French literally means already seen. Essentially, it is a sensation that something we're experiencing at the moment has happened before, whether it's just a single element such as a taste, a sight, or a sound, or whether it's an entire sequence of events. Deja vu is a common intuitive feeling that has happened to around 60 to 70% of people, and it occurs more frequently to people between the ages of 15 and 25. Deja vu is a rather complex phenomenon, and like many unusual phenomena involving the brain, it has yet to be fully understood, and there is much speculation as to how and why this phenomenon occurs in people. To many parapsychologists, this occurs when things and experiences from our past lives merge with our present life. Several psychoanalysts, on the other hand, attribute the phenomenon to nothing more than simple fantasy and wish fulfillment of our desires and dreams. Then there's the psychological standpoint, which generally considers deja vu to be caused by a memory mismatch that in turn causes people to feel that they've already experienced a specific event that they know is completely novel to them. Though not fully proven, some experts in the field generally agree that deja vu occurs because of a communication issue between the short-term and long-term memory, a rare occurrence that functions something like a circuit break. Although the actual cause of deja vu has yet to be confirmed by science, there are many different theories that attempt to explain how it happens, and they each have interesting implications for the mechanisms of the human brain. For those who are fascinated by this phenomenon and want to try to get to the bottom of this psychological mystery, here are 3 psychological theories that have been proposed to explain deja vu. One theory suggests that deja vu is caused by memories failing to form correctly in the brain. This theory is called dual processing, and it is the most widely accepted take on this mysterious phenomenon among psychologists. The dual processing theory is based on the way the human brain processes new information and how it stores short-term and long-term memories. Essentially, the theory holds that deja vu happens when 2 cognitive processes are momentarily out of sync. In 1963, Robert Ephraim at the Veterans Hospital in Boston tested his proposed idea that a delayed neurological response is what causes deja vu. According to him, because information enters the processing centers of the brain via more than a single path, it is likely that there are instances that the blending of the information might not synchronize correctly. In testing his theory, not only did he find the temporal lobe of the brain's left hemisphere to be responsible for sorting incoming information, he also discovered that the temporal lobe received this incoming information twice, but with a milliseconds long delay between transmission. The information arrives once directly and a second time after its detour through the right hemisphere of the brain. Should the second transmission get delayed by just slightly longer, then the brain might put a later timestamp on that information and consider it as a different memory from the previous memory already processed by the first transmission. This neurological delay is what could possibly explain the sudden sense of familiarity people feel on certain experiences or events. Another theory suggests that deja vu could be triggered by things that we have seen subliminally, but we just haven't registered on a conscious level yet. This is called divided attention. This theory relies on the brain's inability to focus on all things at once, which means it has the tendency to momentarily forget about other actions or events that are happening in real time. According to this theory, it is not necessary for people to actually have experienced an event or stimulus in the past for deja vu to occur. Instead, divided attention theory tells us that when we are first exposed to a situation, we are momentarily distracted by something else, such as a thought or a sight. This causes us not to pay attention to what's going on around us. While we may not have consciously taken note of what was happening to our surroundings at the time, we have, however, taken it in unconsciously. But as we regain awareness awareness, the entire sequence of events rushes back to us as eerily familiar as if our memory is convincing us that we've been there before, which we kind of have. The last theory that we will be discussing is the hologram theory. Dutch psychiatrist Herman Snow proposed the idea that memories are like holograms, which means that a person can recreate the entire three-dimensional image from any fragment of the whole. Based on his reasoning, human memories are so interlinked with each other that experiencing just a single fragment is enough for a person's brain to reconstruct an entire multisensory memory. However, there is a caveat to the brain's automatic process of filling in the blanks, and that is, the smaller the fragment, the fuzzier the ultimate picture or scene will be. According to Snow, deja vu happens when certain details in the current environment we are in, be it sight, sound, smell, or something else, resemble some remnant memory in our past, and our brain recreates a complete picture or an entire scene from that fragment alone. This could be particularly confusing if our memory of that past event is either vague or incomplete, since the brain would just have to put in other bits of information to complete the picture, even if the added memory isn't actually our own. This brings out a feeling of familiarity, as well as the powerful sensation of reliving a forgotten memory, which in turn could trigger the experience of deja vu. And so, based on this theory, you could experience deja vu when picking up a can just because the feeling of the metal is the same as the bike handle that you once had, or when you go to a restaurant and saw a tablecloth without actually remembering that your grandmother also had the same one on her dining table when you were just a small child. So in conclusion, although deja vu has been extensively studied as a phenomenon for over a century, and the researchers have come up with dozens of advanced theories about its cause, there is no specific theory that claims to be 100% accurate to answer this mystery. So until now, we can honestly say that there is no simple explanation for how exactly deja vu works and why it happens. Personally, for me, when I experience deja vu, and let me know if you feel the same way, when I experience deja vu, it kind of feels like I dreamed about a particular thing happening. So when I'm experiencing deja vu, I could have swore, I'm like, yo, I had that dream about me doing this exact thing. And if I think hard enough, I can almost picture that entire dream in my head. So I don't know, I believe in reincarnation, so I do buy into the past life thing, but also I might be a psychic when I'm asleep. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this topic. Why do you think deja vu happens? And also, do you think it's something more mysterious? Do you think it's like a memory from a past life, a prediction of the future, or it's just our brains misfiring? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you later.